The moment I hire my first person or my fifth or 10th person is to either buy back your time or to help the company that you own accomplish a business outcome. So my job should be to try to serve them to help the company hit the business outcomes that I hired them to do.
Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Join host Marco Torres, co-founder of MarketingBoost.com, along with expert guests as they deliver incredible, proven solutions to your marketing challenges in each power-packed episode. Captain Marco has guided thousands of entrepreneurs, growing their sales and marketing through the use of value-add incentives. His Facebook groups are home to more than 84,000 entrepreneurs who are raking in sales with his advice. Get ready to be blown away with game-changing lessons for your business.
Welcome to another episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Today, our guest is going to be powerful. He's a globally recognized 10X marketer, operator, speaker who has spoke on many stages with large companies as well as those over 500 million in annual revenue and assembled teams across 6 continents. He's been part of the small teams leading an IPO of 880 million and participated in dozens of acquisitions. Welcome to the stage, Kurt Uhlir. Hello, Kurt. Say hello.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You bet, Kurt. I'm excited to hear how you help entrepreneurs, large and small, grow and scale their business 10X. And, Kurt, one of the things I'd like to ask you before we get deep into how you help business owners is tell us about you, more about you. How did you get to where you're speaking on stages now, helping business owners, bringing an IPO to market, which is quite an accomplishment. How'd you get where you're at, Kurt?
I mean, I started really as one of those solo entrepreneurs myself. I mean, when I was 14, I had 2 businesses I had started that were doing well enough. Actually, I'd started one of them when I was 13 that my dad said I needed an accountant because I was government was gonna come after me for payroll taxes because I had 10 employees at 14 for one of them. And that was a lawn care business, which we expanded to other things. And what I didn't know at that time was I'm really good at building systems and operating. And so that has just kind of continued with both while I tend to work at bigger companies myself, where sometimes they have big processes, but usually they don't. And what's held them back is systems and processes, which is something I was always really good at. And so while I've stumbled through with really big companies, I found what has held back smaller companies, whether they're 1 person or 10 people, is always thinking, well, I don't have time to systematize some of this stuff. I'm doing so much I can just to get through the end of the day. And they end up doing so much repeat work. So
Yeah, no, I that's exactly true. And anything I always say, if you got to anything you do over and over, you ought to be outsourcing to somebody. And very few actually do that, right? We try to do everything ourselves. So Kurt, you did that from 14. That's impressive. I built the biggest paper out by age 12 in my paper had ever seen. I had to, like you, I had a team of guys helping me deliver the papers while I focused on sales, collections. So similarly, we started quite young, but 10 employees, that's powerful. So that was, you say a landscaping business?
that was a landscaping business. I also started I say retail company, but we were basically selling out of flea markets, selling retail products that we were buying and reselling. But the landscaping business grew enough, and also I didn't realize because often being older, it's amazing how much I don't know. But I started to go to college, and I had mentioned to the rescue squad where I was volunteering that I was going to shut down the business. And one of the old timers was like, wait a second, you have customers. And he knew a little bit about it. And I was like, yeah, but I'm leaving. I'm going to Nashville, in a couple months. And he was like, you can sell that shit. You just have to know how to do it. And so this 70-year-old man helped guide me through. If you have revenue coming in, if you know how to handle those discussions, you can sell that. And so we had a nice 6-figure exit. So I helped pay for college a little bit.
Wow, what a cool story. Now that is not normal for kids like me at 12, but a paper route was easy. I did get to sell it as well for a little bit of money, but not anything like 6 figures. But because then I went to go play football instead of focusing on the paper route. But Kurt, what motivated you at that young what was the driver? I mean, yeah, what was the driver to get started in multiple businesses before you were even finished with high school?
I mean, I'd like to say I just had this drive inside of me, but I mean, to be honest, it was I was wanting approval from my dad. I mean, even before then, it was like I had this superhero of a dad, and it was like, I didn't realize at the time, but I was seeking love through performance type of thing. It's like I remember the second year that I was Cub Scouts at the time, but the second year that the state had to create a new level of awards because I had achieved things like it was a recycling program that we started. One in first year, second year they created a new level of award. On the second year that they had to create an award for me again, I distinctly remember I'm like 11 and I come off stage. Do I get a congratulations from my dad? No. What do I hear? I can't wait to see what you do next year.
Wow.
And so I didn't realize that, but I mean, that took me to some things. And so when I started a business and you hear things like that, well, then you always think you've got to do more, you've got to do better. And it took me a lot to kind of get out of that. But I mean, that's really what helped me kind of up front being like, well, I mean, why should I just, if I can sell and I can sell more lawns than I can do, well, why should I not like go sell 3 times that much, 10 times that much?
Powerful. I just read a book recently that I'm rereading parts of here and there by Patrick Bet David called Choose Your Friends Wisely.
Yep.
And in that book, he sparked my memory of my childhood, which is very similar to yours, Kurt, in that what motivated me to be, by the time I was 23, I owned 5 restaurants and a nightclub. And I remember bringing my books home from the nightclub, after a year and a half. I brought my books home to have my dad help me audit them. But my real goal was for my dad to see the profits I was making and get some recognition, as you point out. And in the book that to choose your friends wisely, what I like about it and recommend others to read it is the power in having somebody that drives you. What is it that drives you? And he's referring to, you need the power of an enemy, which could be your dad, it could be your ex-wife, it could be a competitor, it could be the government, but you need to have something that motivates you to get out of bed and go do more than anybody else to build your business successfully. So it's a good book to go read. And before we go any further, I want to hear from our first sponsor, and we'll be right back. Kurt, don't go away.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
You just heard from our sponsor, Marketing Boost. If you're new to Marketing Boost community, you've got to look into how to wow, surprise, and delight your clients with the power of travel incentives and add value to your customers rather than offering discounts, which can be a race to the bottom. So we're here talking with Kurt about business and how to 10x your business with marketing techniques and skills. Kurt has been a long-time entrepreneur. If you've been with us, just coming back, 14 years of age. By the time before he's out of high school, built multiple companies. And wow, powerful and motivational story there, Kurt. Let's go from there. What happened after that? You got into helping the business world. Tell us about that story of taking a company public.
So it was a company that I joined, and I joined early. I mean, I joined as an individual contributor and ended up rising very quickly through the ranks thanks to some mentors. So it was, I say, it was a long-term company, but it was big. It was 85 million a year in revenue. But in 10 and a half years, we took it from $85 million a year in revenue to $1.44 billion a year in revenue. That's a hyper growth kind of place. And that's where the things where it's like there's no systems you have in place at one level that's going to take you through even 3 or 4 of the tiers that raise towards that. And that was actually at a company called Navtech. So especially for those of us a little bit older like you and me, it's like we had car navigation systems. We still think about Google Maps now on our phone. That's nothing compared to the size this company still is. And so literally we were at the nexus of MapQuest getting started and things like Microsoft Flight Simulator using it, or FedEx using it to route trucks. And so we were at the right time and to be able to have the market grow, but also see a bunch of new technologies that came out.
So you've been a keynote speaker, you've been a podcast guest, author. So I want to hear about your book in a second. A high achieving servant, as you say. And well, you've been featured as a guest speaker on television shows, periodicals. I mean, quite a background there. Tell us about your business today. I mean, are you a coach? What are you offered to the community? How do you help businesses scale 10x, like you say?
So in two ways. So by the day, I'm a chief marketing officer for mid-market technology companies. But by night and weekends, I spend a lot of time coaching individuals, executives, or solo entrepreneurs in growing their businesses. A lot of that is through leadership. And so because I've been part of, actually, I mentioned one, but two of these hyper growth companies and a lot of other high growth companies, I've realized that like I was a very different leader in the past. I was that authoritative leader, which at the end of the day, underlies it of either do what I say the way I say it, or there's a door, I'm going to fire your ass type of thing. And what I realized, and I had to shift to this approach of a different way of servant leadership, but it's really connected as I talk with small business owners, um, where often the reason that they have two, three, five, or 10 employees is they were really good themselves. They were the best plumber. They were the best landscaper thing in their community. And so the problem with that is that's kind of who I was actually in business, which was I could do a lot of the roles, if not all the roles in my team better than anyone else, but I couldn't do all of them. And that got me in a place where, where I write a lot right now. And as you're starting to talk about that, I write a lot on my own website and for others about, look, if you lead through authority, your business either is going to grow if you're right 100% of the time, or it's going to fail when you're wrong. And if you create an environment where, hey, if you're a 5-person electrician company and you set it up so that the other people in your business, whether that's your appointment setters, your bookkeepers, or other electricians, feel like they can come to you with other solutions, other ideas, ways to grow. Well, now you have not just your brain thinking about things, you've got 5 other people thinking about things. But I find most small business owners, it's really easy to get in that trap of I'm right. And I'm keenly aware from my business perspective, I guarantee there's 3 things I'm wrong about in my business today. Because I'm sure like you've done something where the data comes out and you look back and go, this thing I've been doing for the last 2 years, now with what I know, I wouldn't have made that decision. But you made the decision because it felt right at the time. Because being right and being wrong feels the exact same until you know you are wrong about something. So I help teach others, including people on my own teams, how to realize that for themselves.
The takeaway on that is powerful. It's easy as a business owner. Part of the reason to be a self-employed business owner is you want that. I don't, I'm the boss. I don't have a boss. I don't want a boss, but you kind of feel like I'm going to make the decisions and you're driving, and maybe you're driving successfully, right? But is the business, can you even get to the point of having an exit plan, like you mentioned, if you ever want an exit plan, but your business is going to be worth 10 times more? Tell me if I'm wrong or not here. If you're not needed in the business. And
Absolutely. Well,
yeah,
and even with that, the moment you hire somebody, you're not hiring. I mean, you are hiring them to be a bookkeeper, or you're hiring them to answer the phone. But what you're really hiring them for is to either buy back your time or to help the company that you own accomplish a business outcome. Which means if the shift of thinking is, I still want my business outcomes. My job then at that point, the moment I hire my first person or my 5th or 10th person, is to be, I wake up and go, look, I want each one of these people to help the company hit the business outcomes that I hired them to do. So my job should be to try to serve them, to help them be as successful as possible doing what I'm asking them to do, which may mean being open to them, telling them, I want you to do this outcome, and them saying, but I have a better way of doing it. Can we try it this way? And so that's a different approach about, like, I still want them to hit the business outcomes, but I might be wrong about the best way to actually do that.
especially in today's world, you never know. Some, young whippersnapper has the better idea on how to use AI to plug it into your business. And you may not be using it, as something he learned last night on the internet, and so implement, test, try, and give different ideas a shot. Um, Kurt, you mentioned earlier before we started recording that that you serve a lot of smaller, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs that are getting started, in the sense that you provide a lot of free content to them. Obviously, a lot of your business coaching might be or targeted to bigger businesses that are growing, that afford to hire your services. But tell us about how, you know, what if I'm starting out and don't have a big budget, but trying to learn from experts like you, Kurt? What do you provide, and how does that help me, the solopreneur, getting that's stuck or not growing as fast as I'd like to be?
Yeah, great question. So at higher levels, like that mindset about how you approach working with your staff and your employees, I do write on that specifically, including some very tactical things. How do you actually have meetings with them? No matter whether you're a blue collar shop or you're a knowledge-based company. So I do write a lot about that. But what I really try to take a lot of time though is helping expose people to those modern marketing concepts, those modern business things that they can try implementing themselves, and that they should, as to your point you mentioned earlier, they should test and try things. Hey, could Chat GPT help you write copy for your social media or your email campaigns? Possibly. Could it also write some crazy shit that you wouldn't want to send out to everybody in your email list? Yeah, it could do that as well. And so, so I try writing those things so that people make wise, controlled risk. The biggest concern for me as a business owner, or helping guide business owners, is when they do things that they think are going to be great, but if you really look at it, the risk level is all over the place. Like it could fail really small, or it could blow their whole business apart. I mean, I have seen somebody throw in a new AI tool within the last month and send out an email to a list of about 5,000 people in their local community they had cultivated over years. Many of them are past customers that said things that they never would have wanted to send out. But the AI tool basically hallucinated and wrote a bunch of crazy stuff, and it wasn't checked, and it was set on pure autopilot. And that was kind of the first week that they tried it. And I was like, there's a thing called moderation here that you could put in there too. But we don't always kind of take that approach, because I mean, we do often want the quick win as opposed to thinking in terms of risk. I love experimenting, and I want people to think in terms of systems. And what are you, to your point earlier, you're doing something more than 2 or 3 times in your business, it should be on a list so that you can start keeping a track and think about it every week at the end of every month. How many times am I actually doing this? Two, maybe not enough to automate. 2 times a day, 2 times an hour. Yeah. How do you automate that or hand it off to someone?
Exactly. So tell us about some of the other modern marketing concepts that you often recommend.
I think the biggest thing for a lot of small businesses is I love what Marketing Boost helps with incentives and helping people with those, whether loyalty or the shorter term decisions that people have. The piece where I see a lot of business owners that they miss right now is pay-per-click ads. Google ads are good. I love helping guide where you can the short term decision making, but if you want to grow a business over time, I mean, it basically does come down to, I don't want to say brand building, because too many owners, I think, I don't like I'm an electrical shop, or we'll use the example of the lawn care, or I do fishing, fishing charters, and like, well, I don't need a brand. No, but people are making the decision very often, especially if you want your business to build momentum over time. It's influence. And so whether you think about brand or influence, they don't take enough time investing today in things. They want something with a quick return, and to build influence and to build a name that people know and recommend on. That takes thinking about investing dollars that may not pay off for 2 years or 3 years, but you have to put in a little bit of time, dollars, and more than that, time today to help build that kind of momentum of influence. I like to say we live in an influence economy now. Dollars will get me, get me a certain level of growth, but at the end, influence, especially as a small business owner, that's something you can often build with sweat equity and outsourcing a little bit of stuff to some VAs and content people.
Now, I have some ideas on what you mean by that: building that influence, building that sweat equity, building your brand. but do you mind if I ask you to dig deeper? If I'm the local plumber and or
Mhm.
just got my electrical license, like you said, and I'm launching my electrical business, or I'm a boat, got a friend of mine who's launching he's taking care of my boats and he wants to now be
Yeah.
a boat inspector or whatever they call it. If you're looking to sell your boat, they've got a guy come out and he does a whole, I forgot the word for it, review of your vessel. Um, what what do you tell these guys on building that personal brand? I mean, building that sweat equity. What should they be doing exactly?
So let's stay with the home services examples you gave, that electrician or that plumber. And so I think you have you have a choice. Content is the name of the game now. Now, does that mean you have to start your own YouTube channel or TikTok? Well, you could. It also means you could just go sign up for 30 realtors newsletters in your community and see who actually sends stuff out. Because of the 30 you sign up for, maybe three of them are actually going to send something out. And then you call them up and you say, hey, I'm Kurt. I'm running this plumbing business there. Could I give you some free content just as the seasons change that for a little bit of housing tips? Would you want a video or would you want some text that you could use when you send out stuff that says, "Hey, winter's coming in Georgia. Here's what you need to do to protect your home for your pipes." Because as a plumber, here's what many people miss. Well, that's way that you can take your influence, what's easy for you. I mean, you could speak to any homeowner if you're that plumber and rattle off those things that says, "Oh, fall's coming. Here's what you need to do." Well, those those realtors, they've got an audience that are already built. And so if they're sending out content, you can go to them. Or if you're that plumber or electrician, you can handle it the other way. Say, well, who else offers services, non-competitive services to the same customers that I want to service. And so you could go to the real estate agent. If you're the plumber, you go to the electrician, landscaper, and others, and just do literally a video like this interview with them and says, "Hey, look, I'm going to put time in your calendar, Marco. And I just like 4 times a year or 2 times a year. And I just want you to talk for 10 minutes I'll ask you questions. Tell me about landscaping. What do you need to know? When should you plant bulbs in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I'm at right now? And I'm going to say, I'm going to send it out to my list and I'm going to cultivate that. You don't even have to come up with the content. You can literally just schedule time then with people that are in other home um, services and companies around you. Take that video, give it to somebody in the Philippines as well. That'll put it in a quick little video for you, upload it for YouTube for you, and even add it to a newsletter for you. You now have 12 months of content that you got done with maybe 30 minutes of appointment setting and 2 hours of video recording on a Zoom call with people.
Smart. And you're providing value to the community on different topics, how to care for their home, roofing and this and that, and landscaping and when to plant and how to take, and all of that content keeps you top of mind when it comes time to think about, hey, I need a plumber again. Who's the guy I'm gonna?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, and so you're building influence with the consumers, but you're also then building influence with those other business owners. And so we all want referrals when we're in any of these businesses. And so, well, what's going to help the landscaper or the electrician, if you're the plumber, recommend people staying top of mind as well. And so when they know that you're sending out their content featuring them, well, as they're talking to people throughout the year, they're going to be like, "Oh, you should talk to the plumber I know."
exactly. And then you may even talk them into sharing the newsletter you build to their audience, their community, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another idea that I'm going to add to that for those of you listening, if you're using Marketing Boost or haven't thought of signing up to Marketing Boost yet, one of the things we have a lot of our members do is they lead by giving in their community and they support local nonprofits, local fundraising opportunities with the Marketing Boost incentives. So, for example, I want to help a local high school fundraiser with a football equipment drive. I might step up and say, hey, my plumbing business or my insurance company or my real estate office, we'd like to sponsor your next fundraising event. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you 6 vacations, the complimentary hotel stays, 3 in Las Vegas, 3 in Cancun, or whatever destination you want. You get to auction them off, sell raffle tickets. You keep all the money. All I need to do is be at the event to make sure I can tell everybody how these incentives work, that they don't include airfare, food and beverage, or government taxes and fees. And while I'm at it, I want to go ahead and give our elevator pitches and go, folks, give to the cause. It's a great cause. By the way, if you're thinking about selling, buying, renting real estate, look for Marco. I am your expert realtor right here in yada yada location. And or I'm the plumber when you need it. Book, before you need it, call me. We'll do an inspection. And the whole idea is you can be rubbing shoulders with philanthropists. You can take that sales hat off and be a community leader, supporting nonprofits and generating more leads, and you know what to do with goodwill in the community. And then you can have, while you're at that event, here's the other key. You can tell everybody at the event, everybody at the fundraiser, look, since you're here, everybody's qualified, or even let the nonprofits tell everybody in advance, everybody who attends the live event, everybody who attends the golf tournament, everybody who attends the fundraiser, you're all going to get a $100 restaurant savings voucher just for attending. And now everybody can hit a QR code at the event that you stand up on stage and give everybody a chance to shoot this picture of your big banner QR code. They all registered to get email delivery of that restaurant savings voucher automatic, and you've got a contact information of everybody at the event to follow up with and put them into your sequencing of emails about your plumbing service, about your real estate service, about your whatever you do. So lead by giving is a simple tool to do, and use the marketing boost incentives in a out of the box way. Back to you. Sorry about posting my own product there, Kurt. But if I wanted to find more about, you say you're an author. Is it a book, or is it your blog that you post all this content on? Where do we find more about your writings?
Yeah, coming to my own website would be the main place, and it will splinter you off to other publications and places that I write, like Forbes and whatnot. We'll send you to LinkedIn as well. So
cool. So I'm on your website here, Kurt.
Yep.
Is it? Here we go. It's up there. You can see that all the links to these will be in the notes down below. Kurt Uhlir, all about Kurt, his speaking engagements, his media, his blog, and find more here on how to dare to serve. For example, do you have books you've written as well?
No, I have turned down two book deals so far. I'm starting to work on a book right now though that I'll publish myself.
Oh, cool. So great. So let's get back to what other ideas would you be recommending with modern marketing concepts for the small or even large entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think so much of it does come down to, each business, especially small business, you have your own personality, and that's a wonderful thing. And so often, entrepreneurs, they see other people doing things and they try to act and mimic as those people. And it doesn't feel authentic because, like, we use the example you keep giving of the plumber. It's like you started your own business, you have your own hobbies, you have your own interests. So, like, go into that. And then I keep on my phone a list of when I see whether it's YouTube videos or podcasts, marketing, emails. I literally have a folders and tags within Gmail of examples of great emails I've received from other companies. And I'm never going to go and just copy that directly, but I'm going to use those and you should use those type of examples for, hey, if this inspired or triggered an emotion in you, positive or negative sometimes, how do you want to then mirror that to who you are and who you want your business to be perceived as, and come across, and don't try to be other people. So often business owners are like, I need to be that, or I need to be the big company. Well, I'm choosing to work with you. If you're a 5-person plumber and not Roto-Rooter for a reason, like, that's a franchise, nothing wrong with that. But if you're Marco's Plumbing, I'm choosing to work with you for a different reason. And I want to know who that is.
Yeah, and play on that. I mean, there's a reason if they are selecting you or considering selecting you, why? What makes you stand out? What makes you be more personable? What is your family business? What's your history? What's your story? And can you wrap a story around it that makes people emotionally want to take action with you as well as anything else? I would imagine you would agree with that. Kurt, let's take a moment and we'll hear from our other sponsor and we'll be right back.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
Thank you for listening. We're back here. You just heard from Automation Booster. And guys, at the end of the day, if you're in business and you don't have a CRM and you don't have a system to automate a lot of the tasks that you may be doing manually, if you're generating leads, what are you doing with them? Are you sending, putting them on a spreadsheet and manually emailing them and what have you? Or do you having them dropping into a CRM that you can set up automation in advance with email marketing going out on specific timelines, drip campaigns, text messaging, ringless voicemail broadcasting? Do you have the website builder to easily and quickly build your website that links all of these tools together? If you don't have all that, book a demo below. Check out automationbooster.com. Trust me, we make it this the most affordable, powerful system that I've ever seen in my 20 years of marketing. A system that does everything under one roof for the price that we offer at automationbooster.com. Go check it out. It can completely transform your business by setting up some very basic automation or some very complex workflows. It's all there. Plus, we offer 7-day a week live tech support calls to support you through the whole process. Back with you, Kurt. We're talking about modern marketing techniques here for the large and small entrepreneur. And that's what we do here with Marketing Boost Solutions. Kurt, tell us more about, what other ideas would you bring to
Well, I
the
mean,
table?
even when you're talking about automation boost, while the automation is much more of a modern tool, that the concept of a CRM is not. But when I go look at small businesses, and especially the small businesses that stay small, it's a 1, 2, 5 person shop, and you come back to them 8 years later, and they're the same size or even smaller. It's that for the last 10 years, though, that's not the person that's been using a CRM. I've helped uniquely within the real estate space, coach tens of thousands of real estate agents. And you can go look within the CRM, and it's not just who has a CRM, it's who's adding new clients to it and then has something on the other side, in their case, of setting people up, to your point about drip campaigns. And so many agents, because for other businesses, every real estate agent is a 1099 contractor. They may have maybe a Coldwell Banker or Keller Williams, but that's just a franchise brand that they have. They're their own business. And so when you go look at one of their CRMs and you go look at who's not growing, well, you'll notice something. They haven't added a contact in 2 weeks, hell, in 6 months, a lot of times. As opposed to, if you look at the people that have growing businesses within real estate, well, when they meet somebody at the Quanta Club, when they meet somebody at church, or they meet somebody at the pub, that when it's right, they get their contact info and they add it to a CRM, and then they have a system in place for sending them relevant content afterwards. And like literally, it's amazing at how many, especially in real estate, people that I say, like, I like real estate because almost at all those brokerages, they're given a CRM, but the agents don't do anything with them. They're not held accountable for it. So if somebody doesn't have a CRM, it's not rocket science, but you have to add the names and phone numbers and emails of the people that you come in contact with to it, and then use something that's going to follow up with them.
Yeah, you do have to invest. There is a learning curve to whichever one you're introduced to. And whether you use others that are out there, we're not the only ones out there, that's for sure. But you've got to got to invest some time to learn the platform and then use it, right? Actually take steps to be acquiring new prospects and putting them into that pipeline, and then tweak and edit what you're doing to nurture those leads, from prospect to appointment booking to sales.
Well, and
Uh,
what I love about the automation piece that you had mentioned with that is, I kind of joke that some people say that the best CRM is the one that you use. I like to joke, it's like the best CRM is the one that you don't use. Like, once I add a contact, I would prefer as many automations and systems set up so that once I add Marco and your email in there, and with or without a phone number for texting, the rest of it happens so much automatically without me. There's setup time. I should come back and review things and tweak it, but it's like, I don't want to have to log in once a month, every 2 weeks, and send things out. Like, those are things that can be automated today. And so the best CRM is the one that you don't actually have to use that much after you get used to it and invest in the setup times.
Absolutely. Great point, which is exactly how the Automation Booster platform works, including the ability to log in from your phone or your desktop And in one place, what I like about one of the things we offer the best is that in one place there's a unified conversation tab where whether the customer is responding to you from Facebook, from WhatsApp, from an email, from a text message, they all come into one bucket, to one place where you can log in from your phone, or your VA can log in and be monitoring inbound questions, contacts, information, and then be following up appropriately, either manually or on autopilot. So that's again available at the links down below, automationbooster.com. The other key thing we do, unlike anybody else, is we tie in marketing boost incentives to those workflows. So we have a library of sales funnel templates for nearly every industry niche out there, where you can, if you're a realtor, if you're an insurance agent, et cetera, we give you ideas on how you would drive a prospect, how you would get, once there's someone's on your landing page, why they would give up their name, phone number, and email, because you're going to be using our ideas to how to incentivize them to book an appointment by offering, an add-on bonus as to why they should go ahead and join your newsletter, book an appointment, or buy your product. So again, go to automationbooster.com, check it out, and you can see the sample templates and a whole lot more.
Well, and so
Kurt?
much of that is more important. What many of your listeners may not realize is so many small businesses have done well, either setting up Google ads or Facebook ads themselves. Maybe local agencies help them, but those have all relied on cookies in the past. And so you're able to do much more discrete targeting of individuals, and that's going away. Apple's changing things, Google's changing things from a privacy perspective, so that those cookies that are from quote third parties that track all of those ads and attribution, like they're changing. And so are you still going to be able to do ads? Yes. For larger companies, it's not going to be that different. But for a lot of local businesses, it's going to really change a lot of the targeting of ads that may have worked in the past, where incentives, capturing contact when you're in person with somebody, getting referrals is going to be much more important, starting actually about mid this year.
That's very true, because it's as it is, cookies are not always that accurate for a lot of reasons. But take that away, and your retargeting and a lot of your other strategies are going to be harder and harder to effectively deliver. So again, yeah, you've got to find ways. You've got to be building a database at the end of the day. You've got to be personally or company wide working on ways to generate and capture a name, phone number, and email that you own that data, so that you're not depending upon Google, Facebook, YouTube to get back to them with follow up. And one thing that Kurt, you probably have, one thing that's always amazed me when I go out to brick and mortar businesses, and I'll walk into a restaurant, for example, or any other business, how there's rarely any effort to solicit my contact info. And even when I buy something in their store, of course, I do the transaction on, the Visa card or what have you. They don't capture that information. That's not going to them. That's going to Visa, and all my privacy is held, and they're just getting the dollars transferred to their account, but they have no idea who I am. And why? Why? So very few businesses are going out of their way to come up with creative ways to ask you to put in your name, phone number, and email. Share it on Facebook where you're at. One of those pin things. Or, hey, I'm shopping here. Please tell. Give them a reason to do that. Enter. That's where the marketing boost incentives can be used as well, because you can be offering a bonus, an incentive. You can say, hey, share this with your friends, and you could be entered to win. Go on Facebook
And
and
the
give them
automatic collection of the information is what's great there. My wife says I shouldn't mess with business owners so much, but you go in a restaurant, you go to your mechanic, you see that bowl where it's like drop your business card for something. So I'll ask almost always, like, when was the last time y'all cleared that out and went through? And like most times they're like, well, we put that up like 4 years ago. We've never emptied it out. And so having somebody drop a business card or fill out, write their name and phone number. If you don't have some system that somebody that's going through and entering that into your CRM, you didn't collect anything. Then it's sitting in a bowl over there.
Yeah, exactly.
And so being able to do that automatically is great. And
Yeah.
now there's nothing wrong with those other ways. If you have a bowl that's been collecting business cards If you're the business owner, you either need to do it or you need to give it to your 14-year-old son or daughter so that when they're watching Netflix, they're scanning cards and adding it to a CRM. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Or create a nice countertop poster with a QR code with the message of why they should enter. You know, a
Yeah.
restaurant could have table tents on every table in the restaurant saying, hey, enter or get our newsletter and get a free dinner on your birthday, and find out, be on the list to be invited to special events, wine tasting events, be on the list to get invited to our happy ladies night, happy hour, whatever, and get $500 hotel savings card just for entering, bam, that's what the marketing boost incentive can come in to add more, another high perceived value incentive to actually give you my name, phone number, and email. But again, creativity and effort. So if you do that kind of thing, you can start generating those leads in your physical. The other thing we even recommended, here's an idea, Kurt. We on our live onboarding calls, we tell our members, our new members, about this idea, which is very powerful. And that is, okay, you're a plumber, a realtor. You could go to all kinds of those local mom and pop businesses that don't know how to lead gen, that don't have a CRM, et cetera, and set them up. In other words, you could go in and say, hey, we're running this promotion, or I'd like to introduce you to this lead generation idea where we can share the leads. I'll
Mhm.
put this promo on your countertop. It'll be branded with your nail salon. It'll be branded with your, whatever business. And it's going to say, enter to win 5 nights in Cancun. One weekly winner is sent a 5 night getaway to Cancun. All entries get a $25 restaurant savings certificate. And then it's plus, be entered to win a free nail salon service or whatever it might be. So you're creating a creative that's unique for that particular standalone business. If they agreed to it, now you might have a poster on their wall, the countertop signage, and all of the leads that fill out the form belong to the nail salon and you, because again, you got them to agree this is shared content. So your system, because you're a member of Marketing Boost, you could give them the winner every week, the complimentary hotel stay as promised. You can send everybody with autopilot with using Automation Booster. You can send them all the restaurant savings voucher on autopilot. And then you have the leads to send to market to them about your services, your realty, your plumber, your electrical services, et cetera. And of course, you can share that data over to the local business and let them do with it as they please. Or you could actually be a marketer for them and say, I'll put them into my CRM and send them your promotions, and I'll charge you X amount of money a month. And so you could actually create a
Nothing wrong with
marketing
that.
campaign. You could create a marketing campaign for the different nail salons or for the local gas station, and on and on to
Well, the best thing about that is, I mean, once you do it for one business, once you do it for that nail salon, then like you can do that in Canva, you can do that in a Google Doc or Google Slides, and so you don't have to spend money on this. And once you do it for one, you can just clone it for the mechanic, you can clone it for the restaurant, you can clone it for other local businesses, and so it is do it once and then just repeat it. And then I mean, that's how I grew my lawn care business in the day, and then a web hosting business, and then a website building business. I would just go door to door. And then once you have one or two, then you go, well, now when you go into your third local business, you go, well, I'm already partnering with these two down the street. I'd love to do this with you as well. And it builds on itself.
Exactly. This is what marketing is, guys. I mean, what's the difference between marketing and advertising? Advertising is go out and spend some money. It's like walking into the casino and put some money on the table and see if your ad campaigns, your money spent, is going to perform for you. While marketing is being creative, and marketing is finding ways to get your story out there without spending a lot of money, or very little. And sometimes, again, you got a combination, right? Marketing is a combination of coming up with your ideas, everything else, and then go and spending advertising dollars to go with it. But there's a ton of different ways, as Kurt's been pointing out, with sweat equity, that you can develop some marketing to get the ball, to get your first few clients, turn your first few into your first 100, then build a referral system that your first 100 turn into your first 1,000 clients, and so on and so forth. By the way, with Automation Booster, we give you access to a Canva library with hundreds of creatives with some of the ideas that I just described and more. where you can edit them, put your logo, put the nail salon logo in, the countertop signage. All of these ideas are, a lot of them are pre-built to give you a starting point that you can go and edit, and or if you've got ideas we don't already have, give them to us. We'll create them for you, because we love generating the creatives that are going to help you be successful. Something else you won't find in the community. Again, one more plug for Marketing Boost. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, search for Marketing Boost official group on Facebook. There's over 30,000 entrepreneurs like you out there that are, we support each other as a community, sharing ideas, what's working, what we've done. What do you think of this? We've got people posting ideas saying, before I go live with this, anybody want to give me some critique and things like that, where we are helping each other and reaching down the ladder, helping others climb up this sometimes long and lonely journey of being an entrepreneur. Kurt, we've both been rambling, and maybe me more. I'm supposed to be listening and interviewing you, but this has been interesting today. Thank you. Have I sparked any other ideas from you that you might give to a community out there looking to grow?
The one thing I would just like to build on is, you mentioned about, the community, we're taking ideas from others. I think too, so often entrepreneurs, they want to be original, and they want to be like, I have this new idea, and that big businesses don't do that. Mid-sized businesses don't do that. So there's nothing wrong with, like, in that community, like, taking ideas that others have found successful and then just using it for you. They're in St. Louis, you're in Miami. Great. You could maybe use it exactly the same, but partnering with other business owners on both what works, and when you put something out, listen to them when they go, yeah, I tried that, it didn't work. Now that doesn't mean you shouldn't try it, but maybe you should put $100 or 1,000 as opposed to $10,000 into the test then.
Exactly. That's a good point, that a lot of people avoid anything to do with other people's marketing, right? They don't want to see TV ads. They flip through, fast forward through. They don't click on Facebook ads. They don't, if you're a marketer, if you're a business owner, you need to be curious about all kinds of stuff. Be careful not to be buying everything and going down the shiny syndrome, shiny object syndrome, and buying everything out there. But going through their sales funnel processes, clicking on the ad if it got your attention. If it got your attention and made you, for some reason, click on it, take the time to go through it, fill out the form, maybe see what their email sequencing is going to look like. Look at their video sales letter. Look at their sales funnel. There's a whole industry around that called funnel hacking, right? I've often thought about writing a book called, I feel like writing a book called Copy Paste Your Way to Success, because as you just mentioned, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. You can look at what others are doing, obviously modify it, edit, and make it your own, but, follow what others have been doing and follow the successes of others, rather than trying to build, a new wheel.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, Kurt, this has been, tell us more about, let me go show, if you happen to be watching us on YouTube, I'm going to pull up Kurt's website here. Let's get back to your homepage. Any guidance on here? You want to tell us where to go to be able to contact you?
Under blog is going to be the best place. My team's going under a revamp right now, so they will be breaking things out until different parts of growing a business. And so if you want leadership or marketing tips or reviews on specific software, we'll have all that broken out for you very soon.
Very good. So you can find Kurt Uhlir on LinkedIn, obviously. And of course, here you can find about his story, contact him. He's got contact form, go to his blog and read more of on a lot of the ideas he presents here on how to, for example, 9 ways to intentionally develop remote teams. And this is big. I don't know what you write here, but I truly believe in having teams overseas. I have a call center in the Philippines with 100 agents and so forth. I'm building a team right now in Colombia for IT development for serve our automation booster clients. We've got
your brain will change when you start working with people overseas. I have a woman who's an executive coach here in Atlanta, or I mean technically in Alpharetta. She loves to hire people in Europe because she's up at 4:30 every morning. And sometimes she has a new idea she wants to get sent out to her clients. And so she can send it to, she has a woman in Denmark and a woman in UK. Well, that's their midday. And so she can go ahead and send over the idea, and they're working before any of her staff in the US wake up.
Strong. And then, while she goes to bed, they're still working and so
Absolutely.
on. So, yep. Great consideration on that. So great. Again, guys, KurtUhlir.com. Any last directions here that I need to tell our community, Kurt?
Nothing on that. I would just say try things, experiment with things, borrow ideas from others, and do more tomorrow than you did today.
I like that. Do more tomorrow than you did today. Remember, one of the ways to do that is by duplicating yourself, by finding some virtual assistants. And there's never been an easier time. I'll say this to wrap up a little bit here. I think there's never been a better time ever to be an entrepreneur or to be an online marketer of some product or service than today. There's never been as many tools available affordably like Automation Booster. There's never been, such easy ways to build a website, easy ways to plug in context into a URL. Into a CRM. It's never been so affordable. Now there's more competition than ever, which means you need to be a little more creative than others. But it's available to be done, and it's easy to get started in a business today. And so now, whether you can succeed or not, most won't. So if you are going to expect to succeed, you need to follow systems and you need to look for support. And that's what we do on the Marketing Boost the Marketing Boost Facebook group. 30,000 entrepreneurs there to support you. If you like the content we gave you today, guys, please do us a favor and share this show with others. Subscribe if you would, or comment below. Let us know what you thought of the show. We'd really appreciate that. And by the way, you can book a demo to Marketing Boost in the links below, a demo to Automation Booster below. And again, my entire goal in life is to help other business owners get what they want in life, and we'll continue to get what we want. And we've been doing that well for quite a few years. So Kurt, thank you again for being on the show. And folks, once again, thank you so very much for your time. You've helped us get to the top 10. We're now in the top 10% of all podcasts out there. Thanks to all of you that are listening. We love you and appreciate your attendance. Thank you very much and your attention.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.